Hello, welcome back to A Path Forward. In today's topic, I'm gonna talk about one for all and all for one. I know everyone has been built differently, but a lot of people seems to forget that we are all human beings. So if you can actually understand one person, it actually can be applied to all human beings. And to do that, I think people need to gain a certain set of skills or keep certain things in mind. One is that they need sympathy and empathy in order to understand everyone. And the second is to understand the statistics. There is the limitation, there is also the purpose for that. And the other one is normal distribution. And the last one will be understanding humanity and psychology. Okay, let's get into details. So for sympathy and empathy, a lot of people don't really understand the difference. For sympathy, is that it's feeling of pity and sorrow for someone else's misfortune. For example, when humans seeing the other people experiencing bad things, they will feel sorry for them and such. We can actually expand the definition of sympathy a bit more. Like instead of just the pity, it can also be like feeling happy when we see the other people are happy, or let's say we see the others and they are mad, we can also be mad. That is in my personal definition, that are all sympathies. By having sympathy, you can actually feel what other people feel, and also you may still not understand that, which is why we will also need to have empathy. Empathy, by definition, is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. This may sound like sympathy, but let me give you an example. For empathy, it's more like, for example, when we see the other people are sad, we understand and actually accept the fact that they are sad over a certain set of things. For example, some people, they may be sad just simply because, let's say, they didn't get a cold water. It sounds like very tiny things, but when people are feeling sad of it, we accept the fact that the person is feeling sad over a cup of cold water, and we kind of share that feeling, accept that fact, understand that feeling. That will help us to actually resonate what the other people are feeling or thinking, and eventually getting to a deep understanding of the others. So I think that explains well for the difference between sympathy and empathy. However, we do need to gain both of them to understand everyone better. A lot of times, feelings, because we are different, so everyone have a different preference or perspective of things. There really isn't a right or wrong over many things. A lot of times, things are the way they are because of the environment people are living in. So having a good sympathy and empathy, that way we can actually communicate better with each other and understand everyone. And the next point I want to bring out was the statistics and normal distribution. So I think everyone has read a lot of report or news or such that's saying, okay, statistics or research showed such and such result. Okay, should we take them seriously? Maybe, But remember, this statistics, they are only taking effect if they are taking a vast number of samples. Let's say we collect data from like maybe 1 million people, or over different, let's say, race, gender, location, etc. And then we apply a certain metrics on them, and that will show us a certain type of graphs showing the difference. However, a lot of people might have seen the Hunter x Hunter. You can say, okay, the statistics showed that they certain people, they are at like rank A, B, C, and D, and etc. But when we understand that for each groups, there is a normal distribution. So just like the one showed in Hunter x Hunter, for each individual statistics showed, we don't really know for a individual person in that graph where that person is landing at. And all these statistics showed are also environmental based and etc. So we can use statistics for a certain understanding, but while keeping in mind of normal distribution and Hunter x Hunter graphs, we should also understand that for each individual person we meet in our life, we don't really know where they are, how they are, and what their condition is. With that being said, should we take statistics as nothing? Well, not really, because it does show a certain path or a certain patterns, but we need to just, while reading it, we need to think of all the background information when we interpret it in any way or use it for any specific purpose. Speaking of statistics, there is also an interesting story, which is, I think people are, it's well commonly known as survival bias. Say in World War II, there was a bunch of scientists or researchers. They are trying to improve the aircraft to make sure they can survive better and to last longer. However, they don't have enough budget to enhance everything, so they need to think of where to enhance. They look at all the aircrafts that has come back and realize that many of them has the holes on the wings. So they come to a conclusion saying, okay, we need to enhance the wings. However, someone pointed out, wait a minute, we are only looking at the aircraft that actually came back. So theoretically, all the aircrafts, they should have an equal amount of bullet or damage on the wings or on the body. But we are seeing so many with holes on the wings, but not many in the body. So that means for those who are damaged on the body of the aircraft, they are probably likely to be dead and never came back to be part of the statistics or part of the samples. So with that being said, we should enhance the body. And then they think of it and agreed. And eventually that was a successful analysis, and that did reduce the death rate of the aircraft. And I think that shows like my point. When statistics are taken, it's likely to have a lot of like blind spot or survival bias. So when we are reading them, make sure we actually take a consideration of those. Okay, last one for humanity and psychology. I think many of you have seen this pyramid. For every human being, it's likely that the people need the food or shelter first, and then once they have sufficient, they will start to look for like security or protections for safety needs. And then when they have made off both of them, they will start looking for like social connections or like feeling needed, and etc. Like for example, people start looking for belonging, looking for love, or etc. And then they start to wanting to have some like self-esteem, like for example seeking being respect, being recognized, or like having a high status roles or something. Eventually they want to self-actualization, which basically they succeed in their dreams. They feel like they have done something. I think this is actually a good thinking or good analysis of all human beings. Of course, we have seen like certain examples, but I think there has also been a analysis for saying for people who actually have seen the higher level of the pyramid that can actually overcome the lower level of the pyramid, which is why we have seen people who are willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, or all those heroes, all of them because of this Maslow's hierarchy. So I'll say take a deep look of this pyramid and memorize them, and maybe you will be able to benefit from using this or applying this in your actual life, and prepare yourself for all the status or all the situations, or meet different peoples. And also, I think if you actually look deeper into this, it's a lot of them actually applies to a psychology, which I think psychology has been a lot overlooked in the modern society. For example, when people are talking about certain things like why people are doing such and such horrible thing or such things, but psychology like actually played a huge role in our daily lives. A lot of times, if you look a lot of research papers, you will realize that psychology is actually somehow biology related. For example, when our body emit a certain chemicals, we will have a certain feelings, and all these feelings might trigger us into a different kind of thinking, or like stimulate which nerves we are being like activated in our body, and ultimately bring us to think differently. And also, if we apply the statistics, there will be a social psychology. Like, for example, when a whole group is going, let's say, crazy, or like being like overhyped, and for the others, for people who are trying to feel belongings, they might act the same way, even though that is whatever the behavior might not be logically or might not be logical, or like have make a sense, but people are willing to do that. Okay, I think all these 3 points are my analysis for all the humanities, and I hope everyone can keep this in mind, all these bullets in mind, to help you seek yourself for the path, find your path forward, and also help you to see how to move to your destination. And thank you for watching my video. If you like, please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and if there's any questions, feel free to leave me a comment below. Until then, see you next time.